Well, welcome back. Chalk and cheese doesn't really quite do it justice when it comes to Nick Clegg and Nigel Farage on the issue of Europe. The Liberal Democrat leader and champion of Britain's place at the heart of the EU and Nigel Farage, the UKIP leader who'd rather see the country leave, have been debating that issue while we've been on air tonight. Our political editor Gary Gibbon has been watching the exchanges and joins us now from the debate spin room. Well, Gary, how has it been going?
Quite loudly, as you can tell from behind me, not over yet. They've been quite civil towards each other, no fisticuffs, but I don't think they're going to be going down the pub together afterwards. What Nigel Farage has been emphasising all the time, more than any other subject really, is immigration, and what Nick Clegg has been emphasising more than any other subject is employment in the economy. You get a flavour of some of the early exchanges just here.
Our borders are wide open to hundreds of thousands of Eastern Europeans coming and taking low-paid work.
We have a total open door, unconditionally, to 485 million people, and they are the rules of the European Union, and you cannot be allowed to get away with saying you want to get the rules right by putting in these weasel words about benefits. This gentleman who's asked the question, John, he's not talking about benefits, he's talking about the fact that for hundreds of thousands of people working in trades like the building industry,
5 seconds, Mr.
we've had a massive oversupply of labour, and you've seen your wages go down over the last 10 years as the cost of living has gone up, and that is not fair on working people in this country.
I want here a leaflet from Nigel Farage. Can I just finish the point? This is a leaflet that Nigel Farage's party distributed in the recent Eastleigh by-election. You may remember it. It says here that 29 million Romanians and Bulgarians may come to this country. There aren't even 29 million Romanians and Bulgarians living in Romania and Bulgaria. It is simply not true.
I slightly lost count of the number of times that Nick Clegg used the word jobs in this debate. His pollsters, they do manage a bit of polling. They scrummage around for money down the back of the sofa, the Lib Dems. They think the word jobs just has a massive resonance in this debate. And I got to about 32 mentions of the word from Nick Clegg. He's trying to obviously power that argument home that it's all about employment. Here's another exchange between the two.
If it's not 3 million, because I guess 3 million jobs, of course, wouldn't disappear overnight, is it 2 million? Is it 1 million? Is it 500,000? My view is we shouldn't be sacrificing a single job just to fulfil this dogmatic view that we should turn our backs on the rest of the world and on Europe. 3 million jobs is 3 million pay packets, is millions of families in this country being able to pay their bills, which they otherwise wouldn't. And that's why this is, at the end of the day, about jobs.
I spent 20 years in the private sector. I can tell you something. In private business, the customer is king. And when it comes to renegotiating a trade agreement with Europe, with no threat to any jobs, apart, of course, from the commissioners and the British MEPs who'd all be turfed out on their ear, and that's no bad thing. When it comes to a renegotiation of that deal, we actually hold the whip hand.
Well, there's going to be an exit poll, as it were, at the end of this. YouGov are doing one for the Sun newspaper. I would bet the house. I think Nick Clegg would bet his own house on Nigel Farage winning it. He has no expectations of winning that instant poll, but he does think that he had to do this, Nick Clegg. There was a serious possibility that in the European Parliament elections, the Lib Dems were going to be utterly wiped out. That possibility still exists. If the story on the night of the European elections is, well, actually, they weren't wiped out, so everybody moves on to another story, that will be good enough for the Lib Dems. If they're not the headline that night, that'll be good enough. The stakes were very high for them, and although I suspect you'll probably some pro-Nigel Farage coverage in the papers tomorrow saying that he won the debate, perhaps, that he battered Nick Clegg on some issues. Nick Clegg won't lose sleep about that. He really didn't have anywhere else to go, he thinks, other than to stand here, though, of course, David Cameron did have somewhere else to go. Nigel Farage said he was running away from the debate.
Gary in the spin room, unspun as ever. Thank you very much.